First, need to understand a little bit about film tension and its impact on print curl. Now, I've got a little demonstration here on the table. I have a standard pressure-sensitive vinyl over laminate, and I'm going to peel this back and actually affix it down over the top of our digital print. Now, before I actually squeegee it all the way across, I'm going to pull back the release liner and put just a little bit of web tension in this direction on the over laminate. Now I'll affix it down, and then I'll cut it loose, and we can see the impact of film tension on print curl. Because of the elastic nature of vinyl, when you apply film tension, the vinyl will actually neck in the web direction. Take a close-up look at this rubber band. As I stretch it, you can clearly see how it becomes narrow in the middle. This is referred to as necking. Necking a vinyl film from excess break tension when you're decaling causes the vinyl over laminate to actually become narrower than the mounting adhesive. Here's a close-up view of what that looks like. From the back side of the laminator, we can clearly see how the over laminate is now narrower than the mounting adhesive, exposing the adhesive. Now, not only are we inducing a lot of upward curl by the amount of tension that was applied to this film, this exposed adhesive on some laminators that don't have high-release silicone rollers will actually stick to the roller, pulling out large pieces of material, damaging the rollers. So Dave, I get it. I understand. Film tension, print curl, and necking. You've explained both of those very clearly to me. So when are you going to show me this new material and how it's going to solve those problems? Well, it solves a lot more than just these problems, but I have one more relative to film tension that we need to cover first. Another problem I observe all the time with operators is they see a few lines coming around the top main roller of their lamination film. They immediately reach over and apply more break tension to the upper supply shaft, thinking that this is going to make all their problems go away. Well, we've already seen two problems associated with excessive break tension, the print curl and the necking. So what we need to realize is that there is a correlation between the break setting and the web width measured in PLI, or pounds per linear inch. A break setting that works for a wide web is not the same break setting for a narrow web. Using the same would have too much break force on the narrower web. Not only that, during the lamination process, when you're going through a roll of material, this roll of material becomes progressively smaller. So reducing the break force during the production run becomes necessary because of the leverage that you lose as the material gets smaller. Well, you know, this is a lot of stuff to know and to learn and to monitor and think about when you're laminating. What if one lamination film, let's say Coverite V2G, could make all of that go away? Well, let's take a look at how that's done. I've webbed up the laminator with the AGL Coverite V2G, and one of the first things that you'll notice is that the Coverite V2G uses a clear polyester release liner. This provides an excellent adhesive coat weight on the cast vinyl. I'm also running AGL's Easy Sled KP here on the bottom because we're actually going to do some single-sided laminating. I've got a beautiful image here in front of me that was printed on an HP 8000 with solvent inks onto a white pressure-sensitive vinyl. Now, to demonstrate the power of Coverite V2G, unfortunately, we're going to have to sacrifice this image. I'm going to cut it up into 3 separate pieces. On one piece, we'll leave it blank, unlaminated. The other 2 pieces, I'm going to mark those, one with an L for low tension and one with an H for high tension, and we'll adjust the film tension of the Coverite V2G as we process these through the laminator. The first piece of this image that we're going to process through is the one marked with an L for our low tension example. I'll start this into the laminator and circle this L here. What I want you to notice is that one of the advantages of using the AGL Encore is the fact that we have a digital readout here. The lower the LED, the more we can see that we're actually running a low tension setting. We'll adjust this for our next example. The second piece of this image, it's marked with the H, we want to process through the laminator too. But before we do that, I'm going to turn the brake setting on the RTS brake here on the Encore all the way to maximum. So here you can see all of the LEDs are lit up. Now we can process this print through the laminator under a high tension setting. Our two prints are coming out of the laminator, and I'll trim these off, cut them loose from the web here, and we'll take them over to the table and see our results. I finished out the trimming of our two examples, and you can clearly see how the low tension has less curl than the high tension. But what you actually can't see is this. Coverite V2G comes with a polyester pre-mask. I'll use a piece of tape to peel back the polyester pre-mask. You can see it right here as I remove it. That's covering the top of the cast vinyl. Once I remove this material, you'll be able to see just how flat the graphic will lie. Now, if you didn't quite catch that, we'll do it one more time. Remember that Coverite V2G comes with a built-in polyester pre-mask. I'm going to go ahead and remove it from the low tension sample that we made. Here you can see I'm removing the polyester pre-mask. It comes off with little to no effort. And now we're going to compare our unlaminated, our low tension example, and our high tension example to the original print before we started to over-laminate it. In this split screen, the top picture shows where I had just finished cutting the decal into 3 sections, and I was labeling it with a Sharpie. Compare this to the bottom photo where I laminated the 2 sections of the decal, one with low tension and one with high tension. And you can clearly see there is no difference, even with the high tension example. This is because the rigid polyester pre-mask actually shields the vinyl from seeing any of those high tension settings that you may have placed on the film, and those problems that are commonly associated with high tension, such as upcurl and all of the problems associated with necking a vinyl film. You'll also have the additional benefit of no longer having to worry about maintaining an ideal separation point of the release liner here, because the polyester pre-mask located here is actually going to keep the vinyl from stretching or necking when you process it through the laminator.